Hey guys, welcome back to another video. What we're going to be talking about today is some habits that I think you guys should develop in order to become a successful software engineer. Now, with anything that you try to accomplish, it's always good to develop some good habits, especially early on into your journey. Now, if you're just learning how to code or if you're just starting off, in your first software engineering job, these habits are going to really help you guys succeed and prosper as a software engineer. So if you're new to the channel, what we do here is we talk about how to become a software engineer, how to change career paths and become a software engineer. And basically, I try to do my best to give you guys some tips to make your journey that much easier. If you like the content, feel free to like and subscribe. And if you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much. I love you. And I'm super grateful for you watching my content. So the first thing I want to say is that you might not think it, but programming is like pretty physically demanding. When you're sitting down all day, it's very easy to like just stay hunched over, code, you get like an elongated neck and your eyes get all glossy and you just kind of build these routines where, you get carpal tunnel syndrome and you're just like really kind of not sitting in the most optimal way and your body is really suffering, especially when you're doing this for years at a time. It's really, really important to, develop good posture, do the whole thing where, your computer's eye level with you and stuff like that. I've spent times where, a week has gone by and I'm kind of like in a shitty chair and kind of not comfortable. And then I really feel worse. And the more you do it, the worse you're going to feel, the worse you're going to look. And basically it really will make an impact on not only your professional life, but also your personal life. You also can't just sit all day. It's very important to take constant breaks. I try to take like a 15-minute break-ish, kind of like every hour, not go too long, except if I'm like, in a really flow state where I can work for hours at a time. But I always try to, get up, definitely get exercise often and definitely get good sleep. That's very important parts of my routine. And I just think that a lot of programmers, kind of forget to do that. And also, I don't know if you guys have realized this in my videos. This is like a massive jug of water. I try to drink water all the time. It's 2 liters. And so it's super important to me. It's very easy to forget to drink water. And then, your eyes are all glossy and your throat is dry and you kind of like get a headache. But like these things seem trivial, but it's really easy to forget them. So you definitely should keep all this in mind. The second thing I want to talk about is that you just have to constantly be shipping code and constantly just be shipping your products and shipping new features. Don't get too scared to push something out. And the best thing you can do is kind of like, get 80% of the work done. It's not perfect, but just push it out. It's very easy to like get caught up in the minute little details of a software. And a lot of engineers kind of, spend a lot of time on these little things. And then it ends up taking a week and they come out and they're like, wow, this is incredible. Like it gets very, very interesting. You kind of get lost in this code, but then it takes you a week to push out a small feature, right? So it's really important to, not get stuck and just push through and just push something out. As long as you can keep pushing stuff out, you'll keep learning and you'll keep writing new code and getting better as a software engineer. Also try to develop goal-oriented habits. So when you're trying to push a feature, just get to the feature, push it out, and then move on. You want to keep reaching your goals and just not get stuck. That's how you get stuck in like these small details. If you're goal oriented, you have something you want to build, you build it, and then you move on. And you also don't want to really overthink your tech. I see a lot of people that, get stuck on making their text editor look super pretty, installing all these packages that add colors everywhere. People argue Vim versus Emacs, all this garbage that genuinely doesn't matter. They also spend ages, getting keyboard shortcuts set up. All this crap literally doesn't matter. You want to stay productive and you just want to write your code. So don't get lost and don't spend hours trying to configure the most personal work environment ever. It's just like a bunch of dick riding in my opinion. And you just want to, set up a simple workspace, get to work, and then, get your job done. Another habit that I have for you guys is to stay simple and stay consistent. With anything you're trying to build, there's always going to be basically infinite ways of coding something. Anything you want to code, there's like hundreds and hundreds of different ways of doing it. But if you stay simple and you stay consistent in the way you build stuff, you're not changing it up every time, then it makes it a lot easier for you to understand your code and it makes it a lot easier to collaborate, which I mentioned before, but collaboration is like the foundation of software engineering. You want to make it easy to collaborate with others. You want to have other code easy for you to read, and you want your code to be easy for other people to read, right? So if you stay simple, you stay consistent, most important, consistent with your code, it'll be very easy to work as a team, especially once you get into a more professional environment. There's a lot of engineers I see out there that are pretty arrogant in the way they code. They really take pride in making stuff super complicated, which I don't really understand. They spend a lot of time, using all this crazy tech and like making it super, super complicated. And that kind of, defeats the purpose of collaboration. It makes their code really hard to understand. Sometimes it's super long for no reason at all than to stroke their own ego and to brag about, how incredible, how many lines of code they've written. You want to avoid doing that. It's really not productive, and it doesn't lead to anything better in a team environment. So yeah, you want to keep everything very, very simple, or as simple as you can. Sometimes like, I'm not trying to be stupid here. Like, sometimes you can't keep it simple, but as much as you can, you want to keep it simple. Another good habit to get into is to kind of figure out what works for you in terms of getting into a flow state. What that means is, like, you can kind of get your distractions out of the way and be able to concentrate for 2 or 3 hours at a time and get a lot of work done in that 2 or 3 hours. You really like immerse yourself in the code you're writing and in the problem you're trying to solve. And with those 2 or 3 hours of really, really good concentration, you're able to, like, you basically black out and then you wake up and you're done coding, right? Like, it's kind of like a very, very productive time in my day. This is the time where I'm most productive, and the key is to not get interrupted, to turn off like notifications, to turn off your phone, maybe put everything on do not disturb, and just stay focused. Now that works for me. Some other things might work for others. A lot of people I know play a certain type of music, like ambient noise or like rain noises, stuff like that. Whatever works for you, you really want to figure that out as soon as you can, so that when you start coding in a more serious way, that then you'll really be able to get into a flow state, which is the best. It's when you get the most work done, and it's when you feel just the most productive. Another good habit to develop is to constantly keep learning and constantly get out of your comfort zone. So if you're trying to build a new feature or trying to build something and there's something you don't know what it is, don't get intimidated by it, but instead, get excited, because it's another opportunity to learn something new. When there's a new tech you can learn or some new software you can use, then definitely jump in, dive in head first and get your hands dirty and just try to figure it out. It's very easy, especially as a software engineer, to get stuck in a routine where you're coding the same thing all the time for years on end. You're using the same tech and you're not really learning something new. Not only is that counterproductive to your own knowledge and your own like value as a software engineer, but then you can kind of get outdated in a couple of years. And then when you try to move on, find a new job or start a new like side hustle or a new product, whatever it is, you'll realize that, oh my God, I've literally been doing the same thing for the last 5 years. What I've been doing isn't really relevant anymore. It's not the best way to do things. And then you'll really be in a bad spot. Finally, I just want to say, I mentioned it before, but collaboration really is the foundation of software engineering. So don't always just try to do things by yourself. I've seen this so many times in the past where one person is just stuck on a problem. They can't figure it out, and that they're not asking for help. They hide themselves in a room. They try to code away. They're coding. They come back a couple of days later. Oh my God, guys, I've literally done nothing, right? That happens very, very often. And what you want to do is collaborate as much as you can. You want to take advantage of whatever people are readily available to you and ask them questions. Don't be scared. That's what they're there for. Work together on problems that you can't solve by yourself, right? It's very good. And always ask for help. Don't be shy. Don't be scared to ask for help. You think that, oh my God, I'm going to look stupid. But in the long run, if you're not asking for help and you're wasting so much time on something, it only looks bad on you. Asking for help is really not frowned upon these days. It's very encouraged, and you'll definitely learn something. The more you ask for help, the less you're going to have to ask for help in the future. You know what I mean? Like, you'll get better, and then you'll have more information to provide to your teammates. So guys, these are just some key habits I think you should try and develop. It's some stuff I've learned throughout my career. I hope you have enjoyed, and really try. It's not going to be an overnight process. So just try to just develop this every day and work on it, and it'll be amazing. Like, you'll notice that in a year's time you're way more productive, and you've just naturally become a better software engineer. So I hope you guys have enjoyed. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed the content, and have a good one, everyone. Don't forget to enjoy your coding. Take it easy.